Hi, this is Shad Rogers with Claremont, and want to talk to you today about a subject that may be uncomfortable but super important for our own personal development, and that is feedback. Now, a lot of us won't receive feedback on a normal day-to-day basis, and many of us will only receive feedback during maybe a semi-annual or annual formal process from a company. But as we know, it's our career, and we have to take ownership of that. So a lot of the advice is say, go out and ask for feedback. And while this is really great advice, I think it's equally important to think about how do we ask our managers for feedback. Now, if you were to just turn to your manager and say, "Hi, manager, do you have any feedback for me?" Sometimes the responses vary, but many times it's either no or not at this time or, "Oh, you're doing great," which as we know is not very helpful. So one of the things that we do to teach our managers to give feedback is the SBI model, which is situation, behavior, and impact. And when delivering feedback, they should fill out each one of those areas. So this was a situation you were in, this is the behavior that you displayed, and this is the impact that it's having. So using that model, we want to think about how do we make delivering feedback easy for our managers. Not only easy for our managers, but also actionable for us. So the first step is to think about what is a key area that you would like feedback on. So really think about, is there a specific area that either plagues you or you think about or you're not sure about that you would like some guidance on? So the first is to think about what is it that you want feedback on. And then you can kind of re-engineer or reverse engineer the SBI model to help put some context around the question that you want a response to. So when we're going to your manager for feedback, instead of saying, "Hey, do you have any feedback for me?" you can talk about a specific scenario or situation, the behavior that you think you're doing, and you can start to ask or want feedback on what is the implications, what is the impact that behavior is having. By doing that, you create a little bit of context for our managers to respond to. And again, the key of this is to make sure that it's easy for our managers to provide feedback that you can act on. So first off, spend some time thinking about what it is that you want feedback on. Now, there could be a scenario where you don't know. There could be a situation where you just want general feedback. Instead of thinking about wanting feedback on behavior, you can still use the SBI model and focus on the impact. So think about an area that you want to know, what is my impact on? And it could be behaviors that you're aware of or not aware of. And start to think about what is the impact that you want to have. And start to talk to your manager about, this is my goal from an impact perspective. What are the behaviors that I'm doing and doing well and should continue? Or what are the behaviors I'm not doing or that I'm doing that start to put barriers to that impact that I want? So think about when you go to your managers for feedback, bring up specific items that you want feedback on and spend some time, because after all, this is your career. And so think about, how do I want to show up? What are the things that I want to do? And specifically, what is the impact that I'm having on the organization?